Well, it was a tough one. We told you obstruction, that is a judgment call, and those judgment calls, they cannot be challenged. And the fellas, well, it was a tough blow. They fall to Baltimore. The broom, it has to stay on the team plane. Not able to make it 3 in a row versus the Orioles. Nico Hoerner, yes, indeed, he was pushed off the bag by Gunnar Henderson. You see the flex by Henderson right there. Nico said, I couldn't get to the bag, it was blocked, and then I was pushed, but either way, it didn't matter. New York would not overturn it. Michael Conforto putting a starch on that one, however, turned into a routine fly ball, and then the rains would come on down. This one completed in just enough time, but it wasn't enough for the Cubs. They fall by one thin run, 3-2, your final at Camden Yards. With that said, come on in to Cubs Post Game Live, presented by Yingling Flight, the next generation of light beer. I'm Cole Wright, that's Ryan Sweeney, and no sweep on this one. What could have been Nico Hoerner, it looks as if he should have been safe.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you think what could have happened in that inning, because then Happ comes up,
first and third,
gets a base
hit,
first and third, no out. So it's just a tough situation. And I think you take a look at it here, going through and he's sliding. He's obviously safe, he beats it, but then gets pushed off the bag kind of because he has to go around because Henderson's foot. And not that this is the same situation, but I've had this happen before where the shortstop puts his foot in front of there and you don't know where it is as a player and you kind of slide a little late, right? And then if you slide late, the ground's so slick that you see like right here, Nico just slides past the base and he can't keep that hand. I talked about that oven mitt. He can't keep that hand on there. So he comes off. You see him trying to reach back with his foot, but by that time, these shortstops and these infielders are taught to keep the tag on because they know half the time guys fly past the base.
Without a doubt. And is that the difference between going head first and feet first in this situation? If he's not looking to surrender the bag, you go feet first and his ankle's blocking the bag, guess what? Your foot is trying to get the bag and you can maybe just go right through that ankle.
I think a lot of times too, I mean, look, these catchers are kind of taught to throw up the line now because these guys we saw the other day with Happ, where he slid in and got tagged on the backside where you thought he was going to be there. I think in that situation, if Hoerner tries to slide feet first, he's probably out. So his best chances is try to sweep in and get that hand in there. But yeah, it's just a very unfortunate situation. Like I said, I've had that happen where the shortstops block the base, actually slid in like late, and I didn't have an oven mitt on, so I dislocated my finger because I jammed it into the base. But, you know, it's just, you hate to see a game lost that way because you've seen so many times where late in the ball games, the Cubs have the ability to steal a base to get a runner in scoring position. And like you said, that just changed the whole outcome of the game. And unfortunately, you would have liked to have the lead and not given up those 2 runs in the 8th, but it doesn't look like they were going to play much baseball after that anyway because of the rain.
Without a doubt. And in the bottom of the 8th, as you may mention, it was the Jackson double. A pair would score, Alonso and Henderson. That put Baltimore up 3-2. And this is a game that looked as if the Cubs had it within their grasp.
And Ferguson did a good job getting the first out, but then he comes in back-to-back, and it wasn't, obviously he's not trying to hit these guys, but it wasn't even really that close. And then Jackson comes in, gets a pinch hit double there to right field. And this one here, right, as well, they tried to replay it, and Alonso got his hand in, and it's one of those things where, you know, just a series of unfortunate events, but I just kind of look back of what the pitchers were able to do too. You know, they had 7 walks today. You're lucky that the Orioles didn't take advantage. You had 7 walks and 2 hit by pitches, and they really only had 3 hits. So they did a good job other than allowing the free pass, but the Orioles didn't do much to take advantage of it in any situation.
Yeah, seeing that throw up the line, not where you want it to be. All throws going towards home plate, they should be towards the third base side of home plate, just like how catchers tend to gravitate towards the second base side nowadays instead of just throwing it directly down there to the bag. All right, let's lighten the mood just a little bit and see who made life brighter today. It's presented by Pella Windows and Doors. And Seiya Suzuki, he was swinging the support beam today. We saw him get loose, top of the 6, 432 feet. My man went second floor because Nico, when he came in the dugout, was like, ooh, that was a stanky. And then this one right here, down the line, a 2-sacker driving in Pete. He was like a one-man wrecking crew, keeping the fellas inside of the ball game. And you see hardest hit home runs based on exit velo. Seiya when that ball is in his wheelhouse, he leaves nothing to the imagination, Sweeney.
Well, it's a good sign. Seiya's getting hot. He had a 3-run homer last night as well. And I initially thought that he had got a fastball off Rogers, and it looked like a fastball, but it was left up, and then it was 85 mile an hour. So he did a good job of taking that changeup that was outside and pulling it to the pull side, and then, like you said, adding that double later on in the game. But Seiya continues to put together solid at-bats. To me, I mean, I know they haven't said anything. I can tell that Seiya's still, like, lingering a little bit with that knee, you know, running out there and everything. So he's grinding through it right now. It's tough to hit when your lower half isn't complete 100%, but you can see that he's putting together solid at-bats, and he's not letting it affect the way he goes out there and plays.
And do you think the knee could have played a part in him being held into the dugout and Justin Dean going out and playing right field as that defensive replacement? Because at that point in the game, offense wasn't necessarily what the fellas needed. They need a quality glove in right field.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, I didn't even know until we showed this that was the reason. But like I said, I was just looking at what I've seen as a fan over the last couple games, him running down to first, going after balls.
Got to get him right.
But I think that's a good situation to put Dean out there at the end of the ball game either, because you know that he's a good fender and he's going to run down the baseball. But yeah, being able to see that from Seiya, I mean, it's not great, but I think he's going to still continue as long as anything is not wrong. He's going to grind through it. And like you said, you need that bat in the middle of the lineup to continue to produce for this team.
Without a doubt. Hopefully it was just a precautionary move, and that's just a little tenderness right now ailing Seiya Suzuki. We'll keep you updated right here on Cubs Postgame Live, as well as Cubs Live, as the news becomes available to us. But in the meantime, time now for us to check in with the skipper, because when they plated a pair of runs, that's when this one went sideways. Craig, not a huge fan. Listen up.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a baseball inning. Yeah, we gave up some base runners, and they got a big hit.
Seiya again today, just what does it feel when you have a lineup that has Seiya hitting like he has lately?
Well, I mean, I think the key to our offense is just it doesn't have to be the same guy. So today, you know, Seiya, and we needed a little more today. 3 runs is not going to win you many games, or 2 actually. But you know, we have guys that can do it, kind of carry the load on certain days, and that's a good sign. And today we just, probably not quite enough today. Yeah, he was cramping. No issues. He's fine. Yeah, it's resolved.
That stolen base with Nico there it looked like he got pushed.
I mean, it's not the push. It's the there's a clear blocking the bag there. It's very clear. So the reason why Nico came off the bag is because the player is blocking the bag and he has to adjust his slide. So then they go to review. They don't even looking at the blocking of the bag when that's what caused the player to come off. It's kind of illogical that you don't look at blocking the bag when it's what caused the player to come off the bag. So they can't look at it. He did come off the bag and he was tagged, but he came off the bag because Henderson had his foot right in the sliding lane, which is illegal. And so New York's staring at it because Ramon didn't call it on the field. They don't call it. That makes no sense.
Ooh, Craig, a little hot, and rightfully so. The rain's not cooling him down anytime soon, especially after a 1-run defeat courtesy of the Baltimore Orioles. We'll show you how it all unfolded, and we'll revisit that play that has Craig hot under the collar. That's next right here. Keep it locked on Cubs Postgame Live.